The Minister suggested that some of us are just playing politics with this issue and that we don't really want to see the crisis improve because somehow there's some political benefit from the persistence of the housing crisis. I don't know if he's just saying that to play politics or whether he actually believes it, but I just want to tell him that is absolute nonsense. I mean, I can tell you, I absolutely dread going into my clinic on a Monday and a Friday. I dread it because of the misery that I have to face of family and individual, one after another, coming in absolutely hopeless situations where I've lost count now of how many I'm dealing with that over the next few weeks or month or couple of months are going to be made homeless because their landlord is selling up and there is nothing for them. Nothing. There's no council house. There is no HAP property that is available. And now there is no emergency accommodation either. There's not even emergency accommodation. As dreadful as that thought is, people are now scrambling for emergency accommodation. It is utterly hopeless. And it gets worse. I mean, there's so many different aspects to how much worse it has got. But the fact that rents have gone up by more than 100% in the last decade, and that now average rents in Dublin are €2,000 a month. In my area, the last 6 months, average rents are €2,600 a month. So completely unaffordable for the vast, vast majority of people. At the very same time that that has happened, the number of people eligible for social housing support has dropped because the government refused to raise the income thresholds for social housing eligibility and social housing support. Now, you know, there's so many different things I could have asked the Minister, but of course he's run off, and I'll ask him tomorrow again for about the 50th time. When are you going to raise the social housing income thresholds? He promised me on at least 3 occasions in this House that we would be told the answer to that question before the summer recess. But now we're going on recess and there is no answer to that question. All right? And the result is that again this week, just as there was last week, the week before, families who've been on 10, 12 years waiting on the housing list, 15, 20 in many cases, will be taken off that list. All those years waiting will count for nothing. And not only will they now never get a council house, but they won't even be entitled to housing assistance payment. Because if you're not on the housing list, you can't get HAP. So if you get a pay increase, if you get a promotion, and your income goes just a few quid over that threshold, you are goosed. You're absolutely goosed. Because you have no chance of being able to afford something. You're working, but you have no chance of being able to buy, no chance of being able to pay those rents, and now you're not even entitled to social housing support. And we were told, there's a report sitting on the Minister's desk since December. Why has he not come in here and told us what is in that review? Why? He promised us he would. He sat on it to December, and he hasn't brought it in. And of course we know the answer, because it is a conscious strategy that has been pursued for 5 years to reduce the number of people that are eligible for social housing support. 1, to reduce the numbers, 2, to reduce the bill. Right, that's what's going on. So thankfully the SRI actually quantified all of this. In 2011, 47% of households were entitled to social housing support. That is now down to 33% as of 2019, and it's probably considerably lower now. Their figures were only dated till 2019. So when rents are higher than ever before, when more and more people need help with their rent, or social housing, less and less people are entitled to it. So it's a stealth cut of the nastiest kind. And it is contributing directly to massive housing ministers. And that's why the ministers run out. And we don't get an answer. I've asked the Taoiseach again, where is the report? I know I'm not going to get an answer from you either, right? If there's no other reason why I have no confidence in this government, it's that. Because you promised me, and I know what's going on. I know what's going on. You want to reduce eligibility to social housing. That's the fact. And make everybody pray to the flippin' market, to the same crowd that we discovered from Killian Woods at the weekend, all these people building these SHD, build-to-rent apartments, and half of them are in flippin' tax havens, not paying tax, dodging tax, and making a fortune out of the human misery of our rental crisis, and you just don't want to do anything about it. And I'll just finish on this. Apart from all the stuff in the Raise the Roof motion, which I obviously support, something simple you could do now, right? All those SHDs, don't take 20%, take all of it. All of it. Right? There is no justification for putting stuff on the market now at those rental prices. Take every bit of it, because we'd be paying for it anyway with HAP. But if we got it ourselves into public hands, we might actually make a dent on the homelessness crisis and on the housing emergency that we're facing.